So before I go over the last quiz, I want to say a few things about this class. It's a hard class. There's a lot of work. I understand that. I appreciate your diligence in staying with it. And overall, I thought the class did an outstanding job. It's funny because managerial accounting is one of those things people just cringe at the thought of doing accounting. But I hope what you've seen is it's not accounting, it's managerial accounting. It's different. And I always tell my classes about the student I had when I was at Southwest Baptist University. Outstanding student, 4.0. It was his senior year, and he had to take cost accounting to graduate. Didn't want to take it, did not see the benefit of it, complained about it the entire class, didn't understand why we had to know target cost, why we had to calculate direct materials, direct labor, manufacturing overhead. Why are we applying manufacturing overhead? He just didn't get the why the whole semester. And I did everything I could to help him understand. So anyway, after he graduated, he went back to his home city and got a job working in a manufacturing plant. And he was a finance major. Anyway, he emailed me and said he understood now because he actually was working, one of his jobs was working on the cost of products and setting target prices. And they applied overhead. And so it was good to hear that what we teach is actually used in practice. You can use this in manufacturing, merchandising, service. But again, hopefully you got a good introduction and a pretty good understanding of product cost, period cost, a contribution margin, break even, flexible budgets, standard costing. All of that is just big picture items. There's so much more we could talk about that we didn't. Cost accounting is very complex, and so we just skimmed the top, again, from a manager's perspective. So on your last quiz, what I'm going to ask you to do is to compute variable costs. I'm going to give you some information. And I told you to review modules 1 and 2. I'm going to ask you to look at variable costs per unit. I will ask you to get total variable cost. And so again, I'm really focusing on the general things that I want you to walk away with. Total fixed cost. Remember, fixed cost doesn't change if the level of activity changes within the relevant range. Total cost. And then we're going to be looking at average variable, average fixed, and average cost. And so again, just reinforcing that you understand variable cost per unit stays the same no matter the level of production, but total will go up. Fixed cost in total stays the same, but per unit will go up or down depending on the level of activity. So a good understanding of that. And then I'm going to ask you to calculate contribution margin per unit, which again, hopefully you are pretty comfortable with that. And with that, also not just the contribution margin per unit, but also the contribution margin ratio, which you remember is just simply contribution margin divided by sales. What percentage of our sales go toward covering our fixed cost? And then I want you to calculate break even in units and in revenue dollars. So be careful that you are understanding what you're giving me. Is it units? Is it dollars? Etc. I just want to see that you have a good understanding of that. And then margin of safety, and then targeted sales to achieve a profit. So pretty straightforward, very similar to your Module 1 and Module 2 quizzes. And then the last thing I'm going to ask you to do on this quiz is a schedule of cost of goods manufactured. Very important that you understand how the beginning and ending inventory impacts this. And from there, an income statement in good form. So I'm not looking for operating income in particular. I'm looking for in good form. And so that's it for your last quiz. Again, kind of should be easy for you. And what I would like you, I always tell my classes, if I run into you at the store and I say, hey, how do you calculate break even? I'd like for you to be able to tell me. So I don't know you by seeing you, and you don't know me, so I'm not going to do that to you. But these are the things that I really want you to walk away knowing. Now, these aren't on the quiz, but another thing, standard costs, make sure you're familiar with that. Budgets, flexible budgets, you know, that's one thing, flexible budgets. My husband is a football coach, and he has budgets. And I sat him down one day and explained the concept of flexible budgets based on away games and home games. And he was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. And it really helped him in proposing his budgets. And so, anyway, that's it. It's been a great class. If you have questions, comments, please let me know. Thank you.